On this channel, I've covered a lot of histories about different brands and the history of watches themselves. But I've always taken a look only at the past. Today, let's talk about current events. I will be covering some news, specifically watch news going on in the horology world. Okay, starting with Trump's watch. Why Trump's $100,000 watch, Swiss made, are not selling? The majority of these very expensive watches, endorsed by and featuring the name of the US president, have yet to be sold. The Swiss maker of the Trump tourbillon watches has so far received orders for more than 10% of the 147 solid gold and diamond encrusted timepieces for sale on the gettrumpwatches.com website. On this website, you can see that there are three extraordinary styles available, each with 122 diamonds and 18 karat gold. This watch, called as the Victory Tourbillon, features some of the highest quality diamonds. And of course, one of the main reasons why the price is so expensive is obviously because of the diamonds and the gold. And then comes Trump's name. But other than that, also a tourbillon is one of the most expensive and precise watches in the world. Basically, a tourbillon started as like a pocket watch, a thing in pocket watches, where basically if you placed your pocket watch at a certain angle of, or if you moved it around too much, then it would not be that precise anymore and the time would be completely messed up. But a tourbillon was some kind of technology that prevented this, and it translated flawlessly from pocket watches into wristwatches, and it uses the same basic principles. It uses such mechanisms that the physics of gravity do not affect it much, which is a very common problem that watchmakers face. A tourbillon acts as a way to counter the drag effect that gravity plays on some of the smaller components in a watch when held in certain positions. Moving on to the second news, Malaysian court orders return of luxury watches seized for being pro LGBTQ. This news story does need a bit of a context. 172 watches seized for LGBTQ designs in May 23 by Malaysia. The government said that it took this action because the Swiss company featured LGBT elements. Homosexuality is illegal in Muslim majority Malaysia and punishable by up to 20 years in prison. However, this is where the news story comes in. When they seized the watches, they did not have a warrant to do so, making it illegal, and so Swatch took legal action against them. However, a court ruled the government did not have a warrant to confiscate the items, and a law prohibiting their sale was only passed later, making the seizing of the watches unlawful. Swatch took legal action in June 2023, arguing that the product was not in any way capable of causing any disruption to public order or morality or any violations of the law. Swatch described the pride flag as a symbol of humanity that speaks for all genders and races. But at the time of the confiscation, the Malaysian government claimed the acronym LGBTQ could be found on the watches themselves, which of course they had a problem with. The Swiss manufacturer argued the company's reputation had been damaged and business had suffered after the seizures. Malaysian authorities claimed the watches may harm the interest of the nation by promoting, supporting, and normalizing the LGBTQ movement that is not accepted by the general public. A few months after the seizure, the government banned all Swatch products that contain lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer elements, including watches, wrappers, and boxes. Anyone found with one could be jailed up to 3 years or face a fine. Moving on, Panerai's new €65,000 watch includes a trip to Bhutan. Yes, you heard that right. Each purchase unlocks a trip to Bhutan and the opportunity to join an expedition helmed by the explorer and adventurer Mike Horn. The journey will challenge both mental and physical boundaries to freely unfold guests' personalities as modern heroes, while performing adrenaline-pumping activities supported by the survival elements, says Panerai. Let's talk about the watch also. The new watch is a 47 titanium model, the Panerai submersible GMT titanium mic horn experience. Notable features include a skeletonized automatic movement, a GMT complication, an orange hand referring to the colors of the Bhutan flag, and a hefty water resistance of 500 meters. The watch has a unidirectional bezel which is made from Carbotech, Panerai's material derived from carbon fiber, said to be 80% lighter than steel. It gives each bezel its own distinctive pattern, so no two watches are exactly alike. But of course, the most standout feature and the most unique feature of this watch is the experience that you get to have with mic horn. This is not the first time that Panerai is doing something like this. Panerai has done similar things in the past. Panerai has previously offered diving trips in exotic locations like French Polynesia or the Mediterranean with professional divers, or the opportunity to train alongside elite forces, because the brand obviously has an history which ties to military and naval units. This watch is of course a limited edition watch and there are only 30 pieces being made. It will be available in December, and as I said, the price is 65,000 euros, or specifically 65,900 euros, or 70,54,364 rupees. Moving on to our last news of the day. This is a Bugatti tourbillon inspired watch with a teeny V16 engine. A few days after Bugatti introduced its tourbillon supercar, the Jacob & Co. Bugatti tourbillon is making its debut. Apparently, the watch took around 18 months to create, and the watch draws on 10 different elements from the hypercar. Those elements include two radiator inlets either side of the front grille, two sapphire openings to mimic the side windows, and sub-dials that take after the dashboard and rev counter. Obviously, you can see by the watch, it looks very distinctive, and you can also clearly see the inspiration from an actual hypercar. There are many things which look like some parts of a car, so there is like clear resemblance and association with Bugatti. Just like the thing with Panerai, this is not like a new thing that Jacob & Co are doing. They have again previously done this with Bugatti itself, and even back then they had like a small engine which was a part of the hypercar also in their watch. But now this is an even more advanced system, so it is even more impressive than when they did it back then. But of course, the most impressive part of this watch is the replica that they have made of the Bugatti's engine. In total, the watch has 557 components with a 48-hour power reserve and water resistance of up to 3 atm. And 557 components might sound less, but like the average which I've seen in luxury watches are around 400, and 400 is also like quite a high number. They're usually just around 320 or 360. So the more complicated the watch is, the more components it has. This has 557 components. It is quite a huge number of components for a watch to have. So that is all I'm going to be covering in this video. If this series is something that you would like to continue, please let me know in the comments below, because this video totally depends on the response that I get from my audience. If this is something that they want to watch, I will be doing this on a monthly basis. But if I do not receive a good response, I will go back to doing something else. So please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for more.